will be little confusing, but I am there to remove your confusion. So I told you yesterday that the entire philosophical subjects are not taught to you in this B.Ed course. Only the philosophy that which is having applicability to the system of education will be taken and discussed to you, because many of you might not have known a fact that this philosophy is the mother of all sciences. You might have heard, some of you might have heard, if you happen to take philosophy at your +2, +1 level or +2 level, particularly in central government schools, 11th class and 12th class, they are offering philosophy as an optional subject and psychology also as an optional subject. Except those students, no student will come across this philosophy in their entire stream of subjects. But you have to know that philosophy is the mother of all sciences. That's the reason this paper one is dealing with philosophical perspectives of education. By noticing the importance and by noticing its inevitability, this philosophical perspectives of education is added as paper one. So based on the foundation of this philosophy, the entire education system is built up. Of course, through the ages, it is built up on the philosophy. And even today, the philosophy is supplying the strong foundation to the education system. See, whatever the education systems that you have underwent, maybe it is a school education or intermediate education, degree education, or sometimes PG education. All this education system is based on the philosophical assumptions. Then what do you mean by this philosophy actually? Philosophy, the term, etymologically, the term philosophy indicates that philos means love, and Sophia means wisdom. So that means wisdom or knowledge. Love of wisdom or love of knowledge. So the etymologically, the term philosophy indicates this is derived from a Greek word, two Greek words. Philos means love, Sophia means knowledge. In fact, in Indian tradition also we have another term to indicate this philosophy, that is darshanas. Darshanas. We have shed darshanas. 6 darshanas we have in Indian philosophy. So what do you mean by darshanas? And what do you mean by this philos and sophia in terms of the Greek terminology? Today I will try to clarify certain things about these things. Then you will come to know what do you mean by this entire gamut of education, and what do you mean by different courses of study, and why the course of study have been developed, and from where the course of study have been developed, you will come to know. First, let me start from the Indian perspective. See this, we have shed darshanas. See, like Sankhya philosophy, yoga philosophy, and Mimamsa philosophy. So like this, there are shed darshanas. When I start discussing the syllabus, it will be very clear. I'll let you know what are all these shed darshanas, 6 darshanas. First, I'll try to inform you only what do you mean by darshanas. I will also give the list of the shed darshanas in my later class. First, let us know what do you mean by darshanas and what do you mean by philosophy. These two terms, if you understand clearly, then you will come to know what you are going to achieve after this B.Ed and what you have achieved so far after completion of some 15 years of 17 years of education. Now, first we shall analyze the word darshana. Darshana means a Sanskrit word. Darshana means drish. The darshana word is derived from the Sanskrit word drish. Drish means to see. So, if you just go back to the ancient times of India, so many saints and rishis have seen certain things out of their rigorous meditation and tapas and finance and rigorous practice of brahmacharya, they have seen certain things. And these things which are seen by these rishis and yogis and munis are not seen by the ordinary people. Why? Because ordinary people are busy in their day-to-day engagements of taking care of family and doing some profession and doing some job and contributing for the society and several other responsibilities these common people are having. But whereas the rishis and yogis and uh, saints, they have totally devoted their entire life to know the secrets behind this nature and to know to see the secrets behind this nature. They need to follow certain rigorous lifestyle of brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means not only just maintenance of this celibacy, but they have to follow certain lifestyle which is totally different from the normal people. So from the dawn to dusk, and even during the night also, they will be living a special life that they will be taking food, especially at a type of special kind of food, particularly sattvic food, which is naturally available from the nature. And they would take only certain amount of food only to withstand their life in the body, and rest of the time they go on introspecting, they go on meditating, and they go on trying to know the secrets behind this phenomena. What do you mean by phenomena? Phenomena means what is there around us. What is there around us for common people also it is known. See, for example, we are able to see the sunlight, sunrise, and we are able to feel the air, and we are able to feel the hotness of the sunlight, and we are able to feel the breeze and the coldness of the cold wave, and we are able to see the water, drink water, and these things are visible to even to a normal common people like us. But there are certain secrets behind the visible phenomena. Several secrets behind visible phenomena. Now, you come to know that there are several physicists. Physicists means who do research in the subject field of physics. And these physicists and chemists, they are conducting a lot of research. They are conducting a lot of research to know, to decipher the secrets behind the phenomena. See, for example, let us take water, right? Let us take water. See, water, whatever the visible water, potable water, or the water we are using, is visible as water only. But for a chemist, it is H2O. Are you getting me? One of you respond to me.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
for a chemist, it is a H2O. Of course, as a graduate and the school leaving by also, they were taught by their chemistry teacher that this is H2O. That means this water is made out of two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So which are available in the nature. So these hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms are readily available in the nature. And when two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen are joined in a chemical combination, in a chemical reaction, that is giving rise to water. See, a physics teacher or a chemistry teacher is able to understand by, of course, by that chemist and physicist also taught by somebody else, another teacher, when he was as a student of school or when he was a student of a college or degree and post graduation course. Then who has taught their teacher? See, for example, a professor or a college lecturer or a school teacher who taught them somebody else, their teacher. Then who taught this teacher? See, if you go on analyzing into the back of that, from where this knowledge is generated, then you come to know that this hydrogen, the inventor of hydrogen and oxygen, and a scientist after rigorous research, they have identified that by chemically analyzing the water into its molecules and atoms, then a scientist have done research and observed that this hydrogen and oxygen are there to form the water, right? So until unless the scientists have deciphered this hydrogen atom and oxygen atom, nobody knows this water is a combination of this hydrogen and atom, right? So like this, if whatever the visible phenomena is there around us, the physical phenomena and the total geographical features, natural resources, biosphere, troposphere, atmosphere, lithosphere, and hydrosphere. So these are the five elements that we call it as a Panchabhutas. And these Panchabhutas were the fascinating things to each and every scientist. And many scientists, they went on analyzing these things and what could be the secret behind this kind of Panchabhutas. Then they go on establishing some scientists from Europe, some scientists from other Germany. They have established these kinds of combinations. Oh, this soil is having silica, right? See, whatever the soil, whatever the rock or some sand or that is visible to our common eyes is a silica. In fact, the element that is causing factor behind the visible soil and rocks is silica, right? So the secret behind the visible rocks and soil is silica. So just I gave these two examples only to make you to understand that whatever the visible phenomena is there around us is having certain hidden element in that. Now we have more than, of course, around some 150 elements been already propounded and deciphered, and still, do you know, still some more elements are being researched. In the same way, our ancient rishis and sages, out of their rigorous meditation and yogic practices, they, without conducting any experiment, without conducting any laboratory experiment, they came to know the secrets of the nature much before the Western countries' scientists have identified those elements.
Okay.
See, we have a Kanada. Kanada was a saint, and he, see, in Western terminology, we are calling them as scientists. But in Indian tradition, we call them as rishis and saints and yogis who have deciphered the secrets of nature. This Kanada, a saint who lived in ancient times, he was the first person to decipher the secrets of the Panchabhutas. So this total universe is made of 5 elements. So like this, we have Sankhya philosophy, Nyaya philosophy, Yoga philosophy. So like this, there are this Vedanta philosophy, Mimamsa philosophy. And like this, we have 6 darshanas. Darshanas means these are the branches of knowledge propounded by our ancient rishis and sages after deciphering the secrets of the nature. And how they have deciphered the secrets of nature? By rigorous practice of yoga and meditation. They used to conduct this yoga and meditation not at 20 minutes per day as we practice for our physical well-being and mental well-being. They used to undergo meditation state for hours together, sometimes days together at a stretch, because of their capacity of keeping their soul at the meditative state. And what will happen if that extent of meditation and rigorous penance is conducted? Then the saints and rishis used to visualize what are the elements behind the physical phenomena. Sir, you may ask that, sir, how can you say that, sir, our rishis and saints they deciphered these many things? How can you say that, sir? Just we are only based on our textual, scriptural knowledge. Of course, this scriptural knowledge is only explaining how they have identified and how what knowledge they have understood and what knowledge they have given to our ancient people is written on the in the scriptures. But how can you establish this? So many people are very well aware of these things, like Buddha. Siddhartha. Buddha was a Siddhartha. He is a king, right? He is a king earlier. Then when he wanted to know why the sufferings are there among the people, when he came out from this royal palace, then he saw so many people are crying when they are carrying a dead body like that. And the Siddhartha wanted to think over that why people are crying and what is the reason for this suffering like that. He went on searching and he came out from the royal palace and he went on roaming different places and he went on thinking what is the reason and he started thinking for years together and sitting under a tree, that is Bodhi tree at Buddha Gaya, that is there in available in situated in Bihar. And after 6 years of rigorous thinking and meditation and rigorous thought process, he came to know that the reason for suffering is desire. Now he has propounded several premises that there is suffering and there is a reason for suffering, and this suffering can be removed by practicing Ashtanga Yoga, Eightfold Path, this Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, like that. There are several and stages of meditation, and there are also Ashtanga Marga, like right speech, right faith, right outlook. By following these Ashtanga Marga, you can overcome the sufferings. So many people they clearly understand that what Buddha has propounded, that Buddha could invent the reason for suffering, that is desires. The more the desires you have, the more the sufferings. The less the desires you have, the less the sufferings you have. This is very clear. There is no confusion and there is no secret in this. Even Buddha took 6 years of time to understand the reason for suffering and the ways of overcoming the suffering. Then imagine how many years of rigorous meditation and contemplation the ancient rishis and sages they have underwent to identify the secrets of this nature. Much before and hundreds and thousands of years before the Western scientists have deciphered, our Indian rishis and saints have deciphered the secrets of the nature. So, whatever they have seen out of their rigorous practice of meditation and these things, they whatever they have seen, the seeing is that drishya, darshan. Whatever they have visualized, they have given to the next generation in the form of sermons and in the form of discourses, and that's how we have several things which are explaining about the surrounding nature and phenomena and universe, and we are able to know certain things. If you want to know more things about the surrounding phenomena, you have to read the scriptures. Of course, they are written in the Sanskrit, but several people have translated into different languages, even English also. And if you happen to spend some time, then you will come to know what great things our ancient rishis and saints have given to us through the generations as a parampara. So whatever they have visualized, whatever they have seen after rigorous analysis of the nature and rigorous practice of meditation, they could come to know what is behind this physical phenomena, and they have given us all the details through these Shed Darshanas. And these Shed Darshanas are known as Indian philosophy. And don't think that this kind of things are taking place only in the Indian subcontinent. Of course, Indians, for the first time, the saints and rishis in Indian subcontinent have taken up this research by contemplation and by rigorous practice of meditation and yogic life. They have invented all these things and they have given us through the scriptures. But parallel to this, there are also some people who are living in the area of Greek. Now, so the present Greece is there, no, in European continent. The Greece people also, they also started trying to understand the secrets of nature. Sometimes they are parallel to our Indian saints and rishis, and sometimes they are very young to Indian saints and rishis. And do you know, for the first time, in the country of Greece, roughly around 4,500 years back, the first philosopher of Greece, known as Thales. Thales is the first Greek philosopher. And he started understanding the nature, and later on, whatever he understood about the physical phenomena, he went on preaching to the younger generation, and that's how some other philosophers like Democritus, Lucifer's, a kind of these many philosophers, they went on analyzing the secrets of nature, and they went on giving and transacting that information and knowledge what they have obtained to the next generations. In that heritage, in that lineage, we have Plato also, Plato. And after Plato, we have Aristotle, right? So Plato has propounded several other things. See, whatever the Plato has propounded, which is totally resembling what the Indian philosophers have propounded. See, Plato propounded the idealism. Idealism means this total world is made of ideas. And whatever he propounded, he passed on it to another, his disciple, Aristotle. Now we all know that Aristotle is a great philosopher, and Aristotle is also father of several subjects like botany and chemistry and mathematics. And of course, there are several other people also who have contributed several things like Pythagoras and other things, Euclid. In the same way, even in India also, several other thinkers who have researched in their interested area, like Varaha Mihira for space exploration, and Brahmagupta as a mathematician, who has written Bhaskaracharya, another mathematician who has written Leelavati. So these people have been propounding several subjects. See, of course, this is sometimes it is taking place parallelly in India and in Egypt, sorry, Greece. And another place where there are several people who have really deciphered the secrets of nature is Egypt. I'm talking about the ancient Egypt. So Egypt is also having a distinct culture of understanding the surrounding nature. So these many things have been propounded by our ancient people, and whatever the Greece people, the galaxy of the people who have contributed several kinds of knowledge are known as sophists. Sophism means it's what you call related to knowledge. Then we call as Greek sophists. Greek sophists means Greek knowledge persons. And in India also we have several rishis and saints like Kanada, Gautama, and Patanjali, who has given yoga sutras, and Panini, who has given the grammar and the Sanskrit language. And do you know Panini is the first person who has codified the language in the world? But we are not aware of these things because we are ruled by Mughals during medieval period and Britishers later on, and they started imposing their own kind of assumptions and ideas by undermining our Indian origin ideas and knowledge branches, because they want to exercise their supremacy and they wanted to totally burn the books and burn the scriptures. And Britishers, they brought English education, and we all know that how much damage that British English education has done to the society. And of course, to some extent, it also helped in achieving the freedom by getting access to the Western education. And of course, English also became as a part and parcel of our own education system. And even I am also using English as a medium of instruction. And of course, B.Ed is also medium of instruction is English. So, okay, this takes place due to the cross culturation and what you call due to the political supremacy of somebody alien and foreigners on another country. But in this process of the some six 5 to 600 years of Mughal Empire rule and 200 years of British Empire rule, and many of the younger generations of this present India, they have forgotten the roots of the Indian origin knowledge. So that's the reason. Yeah, if somebody is completed chemistry, that only chemical combinations, chemical elements are given by only European scientists and American scientists. That our Indians did not give anything like that. They are having a false notion without going into the details of the scriptural knowledge and without having patience to read what our scriptural knowledge speaks and writes. So, due to this kind of imposition and Mughal imposition and British imposition, now the present youth totally forgot what the Indian great personalities have contributed for the knowledge. But we should know at least some things about our Indian philosophical contribution to the field of knowledge. See, Indian philosophy is not just a philosophy, the subject of somebody old people. Indian philosophical subject is very much useful to the younger generation, first of all. So that's the reason, since we are under the influence of the Mughal period for several hundred years and 200 years of British rule, and most of the younger generation have forgotten their great wisdom and knowledge. As a result, many people are having a lot of confusion, that many people are having misconceptions and wrong notions that we are not having any culture or civilization. But in fact, India is the country which has given culture and civilization to the rest of the world. These facts are not known to the younger generation. That's the reason many people are not aware of these things. That many younger generation are thinking that every knowledge is coming from the West or Europe or somewhere else. But this is other way around. Whatever the Western scientists and Western thinkers they have understood, they have claimed that they have learned from the scriptures, Indian scriptures. And this Indian knowledge is always revered and respected by all the Western scholars. But unfortunately, Indian youth, out of their lack of awareness, they are not believing what the cultural heritage and the rich knowledge heritage we have. Then I will try to post one what you call one document in the group. Just once you go through the document, then you will come to know what knowledge is contributed by Indian subcontinent. You will be surprised to notice that all the Western scholars unanimously and with single voice, they have been praising Indian saints and rishis' contribution to the world. In fact, they claimed that they have learned so many things from India and whatever the Indian knowledge and wisdom was there, it was there in the Sanskrit knowledge, and many Western scholars have learned Sanskrit to know what is the knowledge and wisdom of India. And they have translated, after learning Sanskrit, they learned Sanskrit only to know what the Indian knowledge and wisdom is there. And after learning the Sanskrit, they came to know the rich treasure of knowledge and wisdom the Indian saints and rishis have propounded and given to the world. And then they later on translated into German and Latin, and again later on English and several other languages. And just after my class, I'll post one document to you. All of you go through that document, then you will come to know what great knowledge and wisdom the Indian saints and rishis have given to the world, starting from this Patanjali, Chanakya, and Brahmagupta, Varahamihira, Bhaskaracharya, and what you call this. Maitreyi, Gargeyi, even women scholars were also there, and Lord Buddha. So, what great amount of knowledge is generated in Indian soil? You will feel surprised to know, and you feel pride, and you derive a lot of pride in being an Indian. And many graduates and postgraduates are not aware of this, and many lecturers and professors also not aware of this. They are thinking that everything came from the West. But the Western scholars are saying that everything came from India. So after my class, then I'll post that document. You go through it. Okay. Then what I mean to say that this rich knowledge and wisdom has been propounded by Indian saints and rishis, and this is codified in the Shed Darshanas, like Sankhya philosophy, Yoga philosophy, and Mimamsa philosophy, Vedanta philosophy. You will come to know once I start the branches of knowledge and branches of philosophy, then I'll list out the total Shed Darshanas to you in the first unit of the philosophical perspectives of education. But just I am trying to orient you now. This class is only to orient you. Being an Indian, we have given knowledge to the rest of the world, and they have conducted research by using modern gadgets, and they have propounded what we have already propounded some centuries back, but they have obtained the patents for it. And once they obtain the patents at the international organization level, then people have to pay royalty to that person who has done research to use that. But Indian saints and rishis are not having any kind of business motto behind their inventions and behind their research. They wanted that this Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. And they treated the entire world as one family, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. See, the Indian saints and rishis and even Indian philosophy, even today also, follows the same dictum, that is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is not talking about only human beings. Do you know how many species of life are there on the earth? Human beings are only one species, remember, Homo sapiens. And there are birds and animals, reptiles and insects and microbes, and several creatures are there, no? See, these are the only animal world, whatever the animals that you can come across, you are able to identify them that they belong to animal world. But altogether, there are 84 lakhs of species of life on the earth. 84 lakh species, not only just creatures, 84 lakhs of species, and under each species you can imagine how many number of life and how many number of creatures will be there. And our human beings species is only one, that is Homo sapiens, and there are other 83 lakh 99,000 999 species of life is living on the earth, on single earth. Forget about that extra what you call
Universe.
a universe, other planets and others, solar system, and this only one solar system. There are hundreds of solar systems in the universe. Forget about that universe. Only on the earth, which is third planet in the solar system, and this earth is inhabiting 84 lakhs of species of life. And India is the soil, and India is the place where the ancient sages and rishis have understood all these species of life. But since the Britishers rule and they have printed the textbooks that this Aristotle is the father of zoology, Aristotle is the father of chemistry, this is a ridiculous thing. See, Western scholars are claiming that no, these are all came from Indian soil only, and we have grabbed the what you call patent rights and other things. Since Indian people are not having any kind of business motto, and they are they are very large-hearted, and they have treated that knowledge is the asset of everybody in the world. So they don't want to make money out of knowledge. That's the reason they did not apply for patents. And forget about all those things. Even turmeric is also patented by somebody, tried by some American organization, but of course, Supreme Court again intervened and they stopped. Turmeric is being used in India as a spice in the foods and for bodily application through the thousands of years. Just I'm using only one single product to make you understand the greatness of India. And unfortunately, many youth are not understanding and identifying the greatness of being an Indian because they were not taught by anybody. They were not told by anybody. And neither they put their efforts to understand the greatness of India by reading the scriptures and by following the Indian culture and traditions. And forget about all the things. The family system. Family system is the origin of family system is India. The Western people, they are not having any strong family. And when all the Western people unanimously praising India, unfortunately, the Indian youth are cursing India out of foolishness and stupidity and ignorance.
Yes, sir.
So this many great things have been propounded by ancient Indian rishis and sages, but we have no patience to read them. And if you, I'll today only I'll just send only a sample and a tip of the iceberg of iceberg. How iceberg will be looking in the sea? Only 2-3 feet.
Yes, sir.
2-3 feet of height of ice portion is visible on the water of the sea water, but below the water there is a mountain size of ice. So whatever the document I post after my class is only tip of that iceberg that is hidden under the water, and you can imagine that what amount of Indian greatness you are supposed to understand and learn and read by good books. And this many things which were visualized by the ancient rishis and sages were given to us. And later on, in the course of time, in the cultural transmission, so many people came to India, and we have greatest universities on the earth: Nalanda, Takshashila, Vikramshila, Vallabhi, Odantapuri. These universities have attracted several thousands of scholars from across the world, from Eastern China and Japan, and from Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and now present Iran and Iraq place. And of course, Iran, Iraq is a part of Indian subcontinent only. But later on, they were converted into Muslim countries. And from Egypt, people scholars used to come. From Europe, scholars used to come. And from Africa, scholars used to come to learn the things in these world famous universities during ancient times. Of course, during the Mughal period, they were dismantled, they were burnt, and they were are totally removed because of this cultural conflicts. Even just one single library, when it was burned, it went on burning for months together, and that many great books the Nalanda University used to have. And remember how much knowledge we used to have if all those scriptures which were burnt brutally were passed on to our generations. Notwithstanding, even today, there are several scholars are available across India. They have remembered so many things by hearting them, and they are trying to still maintain and trying to publish the books. And in the forthcoming National Education Policy 2020 is going to bring all these things to the light. But of course, due to after independence also, whatever the governments they have ruled, they did not try to unearth, they did not try to encourage the Indian wisdom and knowledge by several political reasons. That's the reason we are put and we are pushed into the dark light. We are pushed into the darkness. So now the National Education Policy 2020 is trying to bring all the hidden knowledge or lost knowledge to the light, and then you will come to know what is the greatness of India. So now what I want to say is that whatever the greatest things the ancient rishis and sages have visualized, they have transferred that knowledge to our next generations, and that knowledge is still available in India. And only thing is that due to the last government's negligent policies, we could not know the rich heritage and the rich treasure of knowledge. Now that's after identifying the National Education Policy 2020 is bringing out all that pushed back knowledge systems into the education system. Then you will be having a vibrant knowledge and treasure of knowledge with you. And of course, whatever the knowledge and subjects that you have read so far is only a tip of the iceberg. But once you really go into the details of the knowledge treasure of India, which were given to us by our ancient philosophers, saints, and rishis, then you will come to know and you will feel pride being an Indian. And do you know the Indian youth have been pushed to feel that because of several ideological impositions, several ideological pollution, and the present youth are not feeling great of themselves being an Indian. So to that extent, to that sorry situation, our present youth have been pushed for several decades. And there is an international conspiracy behind this kind of situation. Many of the international organizations are trying that if Indian youth really know whatever the treasure knowledge they have, then India will become superpower within no time. So the several countries are working against this kind of development of India, and they are trying to pump all unnecessary and nonsense explanations into the minds of the youth. And as a result, the youth are feeling very sad of them, very sorry of them, and very pitiful of themselves. This kind of ideological war is being done on Indian society, and some intelligent youth are overcoming this kind of propaganda. And even every Indian is pressurized to feel that they are not good person, they are not good people, they are not intelligent people, they are not wise people. So this kind of sorry situation was created because of the 200 years of Macaulay's education system, and now slowly the India is coming out and trying to overcome this kind of slavery thought, slavery ideology, and which was imposed by Britishers forcefully on us. So the present national education policy is already going to be implemented from next academic year onwards. Then you will come to the rich repository of the knowledges and disciplines which India contributed for the world. So, and we are also not narrow-minded. These Indian people are not narrow-minded. Whatever the knowledge and wisdom that was contributed by other countries, also we also appreciate and honor and respect, and we also give recognition to others' contribution. So such a large heartedness Indian people have. Somebody mute your phone, DT. Deepika Thakur, mute your phone. So we appreciate whatever the great things that takes place across the world, but some countries are not having that much of large heartedness, and they are very jealous of India's powerful youth, because in another 20 years from now, India will be having more number of youth than any other country in the world. And imagine if this much of youth is totally um, enlightened, and they go on starting contributing for the society. Within 20 years of time, India will become superpower. So there are several countries in the world, they don't want that this India becomes superpower. That's the reason lot of conspiracies they are trying to implement in the Indian soil, and they want to brainwash the Indian youth in a very confused and in a very what you call ironical way, and in a very pathetic way. So this just I wanted to tell you the greatness of India, and I wish that no Indian should feel that they are inferior to anybody in the world. And once you know certain things, you derive a lot of pride in yourself. That oh my God, I I have been born into this kind of greatest soil on the earth. Then after my class, I'll conclude in another minute or so. I'll just post that document in the group. You come to know. You just go through the document. Only just that is only tip of the iceberg. I am only just giving a sample of the Indian contribution and knowledge to the world, and which was acclaimed by Western scholars. Surprisingly, Indian people they don't appreciate, because Indian people, our brains are totally become slave mentalities because of this hundreds of years of Mughal rule and 200 years of British rule, and many of the Indian youth have become slavery of their thoughts. Once a person is what you call once a person is deteriorated to feel that he is having on the slavery thought, then how can he get enlightened, how can he get knowledge and wisdom? So this pathetic situation and pathetic attitudes must be removed from our minds, and we have to come to know the contribution of India to the world. And I'll be continuing discussion why I have just informed all these things to you in my next class. And now I'm concluding the session. Then I'll take the snapshots of the attendance. Just screenshots of the. You already sent it. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Who is that?
Nandini Rekha.
Ah, very good, very good. Thank you. You have reduced my work. Then I am just closing this session.